So, hey, good morning. Good morning. Um, I wanted to do a live video this morning. I just had to do a video. But anyway, the title of my video is Did You Give Up on God? And of course I haven't. But in saying that, I was raised in a family that didn't go to church often. My mom, she didn't require us to go to church, but she was a very spiritual woman. She believed in God. She believed in the Bible. She believed in a lot of things, and wasn't raised in a household where going to church was a requirement. We'd go on those tangents where we'd go like a couple months and then it'd stop, or whoever was going to church that Sunday, they may say, hey, you want to go to church? And gonna go. You choose to. So I wasn't raised in a household where church was a requirement. Reading the Bible was a requirement or anything like that. My mom, the only thing she wanted us really to learn in the Bible, I mean, she was a scripture. She knew all the scriptures. But I remember when I was younger, the Lord's Prayer. I remember her saying, we'd start, how you have that prayer, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. We used to say that when we was younger. So I think I was about maybe 12 or 13. And my mom was asking about the Lord's Prayer. She was like, well, don't you know the Lord's Prayer? I was like, no. And she was like, I was like, she said, what do you pray about at night? And I was like, and I started saying the now I lay me down to sleep prayer. She was like, huh? So that night I had to learn the Lord's Prayer. But it was kind of funny because I just, like I said, I never even thought about learning anything. It was just one of those, it wasn't forced upon us, so we didn't have to go. We didn't have to do certain things, so it was like, okay, fine, no problem. Fast forward, I went into the military, and I realized that the most I was going to church was when I was in Japan. So in Japan, the first time I was going to church at back. I was going to church when I was in recruit training. Recruit training was one of those things that was kind of hard for me. Not hard for me in the physical sense, but it was one of those, it was an adjustment. It was something that I had to get used to. So they had us going to church, or every Sunday, if you wanted to, you could take time out your day. We have free time on Sundays. So I started going to church then. And I think that helped me get through recruit training. And once I got out of recruit training, like anybody, some people, I stopped going. And you think about it like, why did you stop going? Oh, because you got through the hard part. You needed that faith. You needed that church to keep you going. You needed that extra, or that person to keep you going, or so you think, right? So I went through recruit training. So, okay, that's that. So, of course, my military years was great, wonderful, great for the most part. So, when I went to Japan, first time, I went to church a lot. Because guess what? I needed that extra to go to get through this overseas, away from my family for the very first time at the age of 21. So, of course, you run to the church and it helps you get through it, or so I think, right? So I'm just realizing that every time I run to church is when I need, or I have to have that extra inside of me to make me feel a certain kind of way. And so I was thinking about that. I was like, it was on my mind last night. Like, we all do things, or we go to church when we feel we need that need, or have certain needs that we feel like we need to have met, or when we want something, and it's amazing to me because I realized I was one of those people that ran to church when I wanted something, like, which was basically an emotional attachment towards something. So I was like, I started going to church maybe about 5 years ago. About 5 years ago, I started going to church again. But I went for me. This time, it was like, you know what? Everybody say, you're not going to be saved. Everybody say you need to get into church. And it wasn't about everybody. It was about me in my life at that particular time. Like, why are you running away from the church? Why are you not going to church? I mean, I had to look deep within myself, because guess what? I was always raised that, you got to go to church, you got to pray, you got to ask God for what you want, you got to do this, you got to do that. So I started going to church. And not that I was forced into it, but it was just something that just made me go. So I started going to church. I went to church for a couple of years, good. And it seemed like everything in my life was going great. Anything I thought about, it happened. Anything I want, if anything I believed in, it just seemed like it just kept on happening and everything. But guess what? I still didn't know the Bible, but I would go to church on Sunday to get that word. Sometimes I'll stay for 1 or 2 services. And all while I'm there, I'm tithing, right? I'm just paying all this money, to the church, just giving, and of course, one thing I liked about my church is that he was a young pastor, and he wasn't one of those ones that passed the collection plate around all the time. He'd do it one time only, and I would, put money in the collection. Well, actually, I had my little envelope because I was a member, so I do the 10%, sometimes more. And while I was going to that church, I was offered another position at my job. Not another position, but, it was a lot of not bad things, because everything you go through is for a reason. But, I was facing a layoff at work. Just certain things were going on. And, I talked to my pastor, which was kind of good to talk to him. Like I said, he's a young guy. And, he had a lot of words of wisdom. But I didn't realize he was basically preaching universal laws. He was preaching, but it was like the things that he was saying, it was kind of different than what I was used to going to other churches. So, and he just motivated me. He just made me believe. So I got a job, and the job position that I went to, they were telling me, well, we're not going to offer you any more money, this, that, and that. And, I was like, well, I'm not going. So, of course, a lot of things transpired. Then, everything just started working out in my favor. And all of a sudden, I realized that it changed. Something in there changed for me. Because when I was going to this church, not saying it changed because my feelings were different, and he got off of the message that I wanted or I needed. It was like it just became about other things besides what I was seeking, and so it was a couple of things that happened that I didn't really particularly like. And I'm like, am I giving this church my money to save my soul that they say need to be saved, to do other things with? And, and like I said, I'm not going to go into those details on what happened to change it, but I just started feeling different. Like, okay, I'm tithing, and I'm doing the things that you say I need to do. And I'm getting my blessings because and I always tell people I am so blessed in so many ways. And God just he just, oh my God, I just feel I'm just so grateful for a lot of things. And it stopped me from going to church. So I was talking to, so just in speaking with somebody recently, they asked me about the church, and they was asking me why I stopped, and they was telling me that they feel like the negative energy. They was like, you've really changed, Mary. You've changed. You used to go to church every Sunday. You used to do that, and then when your friend come along, it's like you don't believe in God no more. It's like you don't have faith no more. It's like, and I'm like, really? Who said I don't have faith? Who said I don't believe just because I don't go to church? I was raised in a way in which church wasn't a requirement, but we still were blessed. I started going to church for my own personal journey. Not saying that church is wrong, because some people need something to believe in. But as I got deeper into personal development, I realized that I don't need if I believe in myself, I don't need those outside forces to believe in, and I was telling them, just in speaking in general, because sometimes you have to shut people down. Like, I can't blame anybody for me not going to church. I had stopped going to church months before this person even came around. So you can't blame somebody else for somebody else's decisions, And I was talking and it's amazing, because when I talked to my daughter about church, and they weren't raised in the church, they wasn't raised in reading the Bible or anything like that. And I was talking to my daughter about, and she told me, she says, Mommy, she said, you used to always encourage us, like when you, and you would encourage us to go to church, and you would be like, well, but she said you never forced us to go. And I told her, I said, well, I was never forced to go. And church is not a bad place, because like I said, everybody wants something to believe in. Everybody wants someone to believe in, but I had to tell her, I was like, well, because I wasn't raised that way, not saying church is bad, like I said, but because of my own personal thing, I just never really forced that on her. But anyway, in saying that, when I was speaking to this person, I was like, so because I don't go to church anymore, does that make me a bad person? Does that make me less Mary? And she was like, no, it was just that it was different, And now this is another person that I just spoke with last week. So I'm just like, okay, so have I changed for the worse? And then I thought about it. Like, I don't care. I don't care if you don't like my decisions that I make. If you don't like the things that I may have said or may have done, because at the end of the day, I have to take care of Mary. That's that journey I was on. I used to care. I used to think. I used to worry, and that was the last 5 or 6 years, maybe 3 years, But now I don't care, because our personal choices and our religions and the way we do things is different. But I was saying that to say this. Everything that I've thought and everything that I've been through, and which hasn't been much, especially compared to what others have done and what everybody else's journey has been, I had to look deep inside myself and just pull out that greatness inside of me, because it's like one of those, when you say, did I give up on God? No, I can never give up on God. I do believe there's a higher power, and the universe is designed to give us what we want. And my personal journey has been amazing. And the God in me, we all have it inside of us. God is with us, within us. And that's when I look at these posts on Facebook, and it's like, I'm just going to put it in God's hands. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to pray about it. I'm just going to do this. You got to look deep within yourself. You are amazing. You are, if you go deep and your faith is strong, anything, and that's what I keep telling you, anything that you believe is true. Anything negative or positive. That's why I said it's all about that. It's all about, it's all about the energy. I to go. The energy that you put out there. I was telling my daughter, and I had saw my grandson, and near me, he was me and cheerful to see me, and I was like, oh my God, because he hasn't seen me. And so my daughter was like, Mommy, it's not the energy. That energy you have right now is not the energy he's used to, because he's always smiling and cheesing and smiling and cheesing, and he didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. He didn't even want me to hold him. And she was like, it was the energy. I could tell that you probably came to see him because you was kind of feeling kind of down or whatever. And he could sense that. He could sense that. So I didn't realize that's the kind of energy I was exerting. I didn't realize that was the kind of energy I was putting out there, right? So 2 days later, I saw him and I was in a better place. And he was just smiling and cheesing. He was just smiling like, and that's because my mind, the energy I was exerting, putting out there, he was just feeling it. You know, that vibe was just vibing. And I'm a firm belief that the energy that you put out there is what you get back. And like I told her, I said, I didn't even realize it was like that until later, you know, when he just did not want to be bothered. He just looked at me, and it wasn't, he was bothered with everybody else but me. So I was like, okay, if kids could see that and understand that energy, then why can't we? Why can't we? You know, I look at some people and they believe. I was talking to my best friend one day, and she was just, she's a smiley, cheesy kind of person. And she was like, she said, I go to church, but I believe in me. I believe in the God in me. And I would never not believe in myself. And of course, you know, she said, I know you believe in yours. I was like, you already know I do, but do you really? You know, do you believe in that God in you? Do you believe that God in you is going to lead you to whatever greatness that's designed for you? Do you know that if you don't believe in you, who else is going to believe? Who else could believe in you? If you don't do you, and if you don't take care of you, who else is going to take care of you? You know, if you start giving credit to the person outside of you, then how do you move forward in your life? You know, those negative forces, that negative energy that people put out, you know, it's one of those rude awakenings, you know, that you have to trust in the God in you to get you wherever you need to be, because no one can do it for you. No one knows the power of the mind. You know, the mind, like, you know, my friend, you would always say, you know, if you think you can, you won't. If you think you can, you won't. If you think you will, you will. You know, it's like that negative, it's the negative forces versus the positive forces. And the God in you, it's whatever you want it to be. It could be a negative thing, or it could be a positive thing. And I wanted to I was kind of feeling this message only because, you know, sometimes we get caught up in our own, caught up on our own, as they say, limiting beliefs, you know, and sometimes we start that comparison, or, you know, whatever we may do within our own minds, like we defeat ourselves. We defeat ourselves before we could even start, you know, we defeat ourselves. And I had to look at that, like, are you defeating yourself? You know, are you stepping into your greatness? Are you comparing yourself to others? Are you doing what it takes to get what you want? Are you looking deep within yourself? Are you doing the things that you say you're going to do? Are you quitting on yourself? If you quit on yourself, then you can never have what you want because you quit. And I have to revert back to those days of my recruit training when I went to church, and it got me through. And that was because of my faith. It wasn't so much as the church, it was because of my faith. I knew that I could do it, and I did it. You know, when I went overseas and for the first time, it was one of those things that I look at when I go to church. Do we just go to what do we go to church for? You know, some of us go because, like I said, we need that thing to believe in. And it's not that church is bad, because once you get a church home that you feel comfortable in, and that, you know, organized religion, I haven't done that in a couple of years, but I'm not knocking the people that go, because some people need that extra push, because if that's what's going to give you faith to know that you are, I am, then you need to do that. You need to do whatever works for you, you know. So don't believe that I gave up on God because he is, oh God, I know that my faith is strong. You know, I know that there is a higher power. And I'm not going to say I won't go to church, because sometimes we just may need that. But I do, or that word, you know. And like I said, the Bible to me is just like more of a motivation. Take certain scriptures and let that person read that scripture, and you all in tune with it, and you like, yeah, I'm feeling this. You know, I'm feeling this. So some people could deliver a message differently than you can. So in saying that, some people may need the church. Some people may need that motivational speaker. Some people may need certain things to make them do, or to motivate them, or whatever, to just propel them forward. Some people might need that. A friend of mine had he used to do a Sunday morning live, and to me that was my Sunday morning go-to. Like, hey, I can listen to this all day because it's motivating. So some people need that motivating scripture. Some people may need that thing to make them go forward, you know. And the thing is, it's not about just one religion. And everybody that had practiced different religions believe in different things. And in saying that, you know, I believe in God, but other religions believe in a higher power. And that's fine, because at the end of the day, whatever they believe, their faith is there. Their faith is there, it's strong, and that's what they believe. And nobody is knocking that faith. You know, whatever is going to move you forward, whatever going to give you faith, then that's what you believe in. Some people worship rocks, but if that's what they believe and it's moving them forward, you know, some people don't believe in anything, but they have faith. They believe in themselves, you know. And I just believe that when your faith is strong, you don't need organized religion. But some people go to churches for different reasons, because they get different things out of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. I was thinking about going to church the other day. Like, I want to see how it would feel going back into a church, just to see what message, what, you know, like I said, mine was more of a motivating thing, because my pastor, he was younger. He just got it, you know. He just got it. And he was just preaching the universal laws. And I believe that the universe is designed to give you whatever you need, you know. I also believe that it's one universal mind. I was telling somebody, I say, it seemed like every time I focus on something, you know, especially when I'm looking and I'm like, dang, you know, I was right. And you're like, how is it that your intuition is right? And that's because I focused on it. I probably focused it into existence, you know. I probably put it out there and it just existed because that's what I focused on. Because what they say, whatever you focus on, expand, right? You know, so sometimes it could be called intuition, but sometimes it could be called something else, you know. And that's why I know that my journey is different now. It's like one of those, to move forward and to do the things that I know I need to do. And I know I would never give up on God, you know, because that's what get me through. That higher power, that universal thing that I believe in. And for that friend who put that out there to me, like, just because I don't go to church don't mean I don't believe. I don't believe that there's something out there that's higher and greater than me. Well, great. And I also believe in the God in me. You know, we all could write our own tickets if we have that faith. We could create our own lives. And I believe that as well, you know, and some things are going to make you, either you move forward or you move back. You know, sometimes somebody has said something one day like, and the people that's going to be there are going to be there. If they're meant to be there, they will be there. And I believe that as well, because like I said, we all have our own personal journeys. And sometimes you may think it's one way, and when you're doing what you know you need to do, then it may take you in a different direction. So I'm a firm believer in me. I'm a firm believer in the God in me, you know, and I know that without me doing the things that I need to do, then nothing's going to happen. You know, I believe that if you look into God in you, anything is possible. You know, I believe that if you believe, but you have got to believe it. Nobody else can believe it for you. You know, nobody else could do the things that you know you should do or can do or capable of doing. You know, don't let that negative self-talk talk you out of doing the things that you know in your mind that you could achieve. And sometimes it could be your subconscious mind, and we're not focusing on that. You know, this book that I read is always talking about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And sometimes we defeat ourselves because that subconscious mind is a powerful thing, you know, because subconsciously, do you know you are great? Do you know you can achieve whatever you want to achieve? Do you know it? Because if you don't know it, it will stop you from achieving your goals every time, you know, and that's something that you have to focus on. You have to focus on that God in you. You have to understand that the universe is designed to give you whatever you want, you know, but you have to take action on it. You don't have, and the bottom line is, you know, when you get that close to whatever you want, you know, don't quit on yourself. Don't quit on God. Just keep that belief, that faith, which is so, so powerful. If you have faith in yourself, you could do and achieve anything. And like I said, when you have those people around you, the negative, you have to get that toxic out of your life. You know, the uplifting, motivating. I love being around certain people because their energy is contagious. You know, you walk in the room and you could just feel the vibe, the positive energy just all around you. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's the people you want to surround yourself with. And I just believe that when you focus on negative, you get that negative. When you focus on positive, you get that positive. And I just believe that, you know, and don't give up. Just don't give up on you. Don't give up on your goals. Don't give up on your dreams. And know that the universe is there to give you what you desire if you're working towards specific things, you know, but you gotta take action on it. You gotta do the things that you say you want. And I'm a believer in that. And I just wanted to reach out because I was feeling these last few days have been amazing. You know, certain things that I was seeking, it has given me some clarity on certain things. And not only that, my business, I'm smiling because I have reached out and I'm getting the things that I should have been, well, I thought I was getting before, but certain things I was kind of lacking in, that now that I know what I was doing wrong, you know, I'm starting to see more positive light in that aspect as well. So it's one of those, because I know I'm not a quitter, the things are manifesting itself the way that I wanted it to. and it's amazing. And I was just talking to my daughter last night, and I was telling her, I was like, it's when I redid my goals, excuse me, when I redid my goals, it's like every day I'm working towards something specific. And not only that, because I was like, sometimes I forget things. Every day at night, I started writing everything down that I want to accomplish for the next day, and I write it down. I just write it down, and I'm cross it off as I do it, because sometimes I forget or whatever. And I'm learning to go back. Like before, I wasn't going back and doing, following up. I'm learning to follow up more. Like, what's the point of reaching out if you're not going to follow up? As they say, it's in the follow up. So I've been doing that. And that's where I'm at right now. And to quit on God, and like I said, I'm not talking to, I would never do that, but I don't want people to ever quit on themselves, because the God in you is powerful. Your mind is powerful. Your creativeness is powerful. And whatever you think about, it expands. Whatever. So you have to keep a positive light, and make sure that you're thinking positive thoughts. And like I said, I never understood that. I did not understand, like, when I'm mad, I wanted people to know I was mad. If I'm happy, everybody can say that. They said I had two moods, happy and sad. So if I'm happy and mad. So people knew when I'm angry, you knew I was mad. And when I'm happy, hey, I got the cheesing and smiling and whatever. But I said negative energy cannot exist in my life. Negative energy cannot exist in my life. And when I feel like it's there, I'll remove myself from it, because it can't. Because you can't live a positive life with negativity around you. It's impossible, or you can't live the life that you want to live with the negative energy around you. How about that? So like I said, I was just reaching out and letting everybody know, hey, that God in you, if you believe in it, just don't give up. Anything that you want, anything that you desire is there, and keep on reaching for it, because it's within your grasp. Because guess what? As they said, we all, from birth, we all are the same. So it depends on which direction you go in. You could go in one direction or you could go in the other. And I believe that. And I was talking, as of course, I'm always talking to my daughter, but I was talking about my grandson. The little boy is amazing because she let him use his mind. She let him do the things that, most of us rush to a baby's aid to help them out, to assist them, to help them, get whatever they're trying to get. Whereas with her, she let him try to figure it out on his own. And she'll let him go at it for a minute, and then she'll help him out. But at least he's trying, because she's allowing him to use his mind to just basically do whatever she thinks that, he's capable of doing. And that's just it. We handicap him. So, and she learned that, just through doing little things. So I took my cue from her. Like, hey, let him figure it out. And he eventually do. And it's amazing because everybody talk about how smart he is. And he's 10 months. And he's smart because she's not an enabler. Some of us are enablers. I enable the people close to me. I enable them to not do things for themselves because they're used to me doing things for them. So I was that enabler. But now I'm like, it's okay to say no. So it's like, hey, I can't do that. I can't do that today. I can't do that. I'm busy. And it feels good to be able to say no and know that it's nothing wrong with it. Instead of me being, oh, okay, well, let me see if I could do this. Or let me see if I could do that. No, can't do that no more. So it's been a journey, and I'm feeling good. Actually, I'm feeling really, really well. Just doing the things and knowing that the God in me, that I am. All day, every day, I am. you know. And I just wanted to share this little message, you know, to let you know that the God in you, that you are capable, that you are great, that you are wonderful, and anything that you want, you can have, you know, because it's the God in you that's going to get you there. And I want to thank everybody that joined me for this video, because for some reason I can't see any names, and I was driving, so I didn't want to speak, but I see Cornelia said hey, so I'll say hey, but for some reason my name, there's nobody showing up on my my telephone. Maybe it's because it's this internet that I have on here. But I'm gonna do a video later, because it's something that I'm doing now, that I had got an idea, and I was on the idea kinda, but when they said this, I was like, yep, that's what I'm gonna do. So anyway, I'm gonna do a video later promoting that, but I'm working on it. And yeah, y'all have a great day. It's been a journey, and like I said, don't quit, because the God in you should never allow you to quit, not this close to goal. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Bye.